Hello, Jonathan. Have you mastered basically talking about your company, presenting your company in 20 seconds?
Okay, I'll give it a shot. So 2020 GeneSystems applies machine learning algorithms to improve early cancer testing for screening. Lung is our current focus, but we are expanding out to a multi-cancer test in the very near future.
Okay, I've read a lot about your company and some of your presentation today. Why do you have so much success in China and Far East compared to the US?
So originally I went to China as a lung cancer focused company because frankly there are more smokers in China than there are people in the United States. More than half of Chinese adult men are either smokers or former smokers. And when you couple that with the heavy air pollution, it's a natural place for a company that is lung cancer focused. We have one of the few companies in the States that has a blood test for the early detection of lung cancer. But what I learned in China and also in neighboring countries is that in that part of the world they have a culture of prevention. In many respects, we have a culture of treatment. So the average middle class or upper middle class Taiwanese or Korean individual will get a physical, or a checkup once a year that could last 5, 7, even 8 hours. Wow. We get 6 or 7 minutes in the United States at best. And those are paid for largely by the employers and to some extent by the individuals themselves. It's an expectation. When people get jobs, one of the perks is what is the level of health check that they get. A lot of people in the States, even in the medical community here or in Canada for that matter, don't really appreciate that. So our mission, our goal, is to improve the cancer biomarker testing that's already underway and provide that there, but all the while bringing that back into North America. We call that an east to west business model.
Okay, that's interesting. So you've been in Asia often and you see air quality is an issue right now in some of the biggest cities. What's your view of how AI can help solving some of these complex challenges?
Artificial intelligence, in particular machine learning, clearly plays a profound impact. We're among the first, not the only, but we're among the first that are applying machine learning specifically to this type of cancer screening biomarkers. And our data sets, and we have 3 now so far, one from the United States, one from China, and one from Taiwan, show a material, not an incremental, material improvement using what are called neural networks. Okay. Type of machine learning. And there are at least a dozen or more articles in the peer-reviewed literature supporting this approach. So we are very bullish, we are very optimistic about the role of AI in the area of lung cancer screening. And we think that as more and more data becomes available, the accuracies will only get better and better.
Great. No, I love AI and I fully agree. And in the healthcare, it's a huge, huge market. One of the things you're doing is a lot of help or working on legislation in the US. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Right. So in addition to running 2020, which is every bit a full-time job, I do a lot of policy work on behalf of the emerging life science community in the United States. I was the architect of what is widely believed to be the most effective investor incentive in the United States, probably North America. Okay. In the state of Maryland, investors in Maryland biotech companies can receive 50% of their investment refunded within 1 year, guaranteed from the state of Maryland. I chair a coalition of small biotech companies. We've been active on Capitol Hill, where our legislature sits, on a variety of issues relating to funding for emerging companies and keeping a low regulatory bar from a security standpoint and even from our FDA to encourage innovation, particularly on small and emerging biotech companies.
Great, this is great. One last question is, what's your view of AI in general?
Well, once again, I'm not a broad expert. I come to AI from the cancer diagnostics world, but in that regard, I have certainly taken the time to learn as much as I can. I think without a doubt, it's going to play an extraordinarily important role. I recall last year I was at a conference, a personalized medicine conference in Tianjin, China, and I happened to be sitting at a table at dinner. One of the keynote speakers was from IBM Watson Health. Okay. And there was an oncologist from Memorial Sloan Kettering. And the oncologist said to the person from IBM, you're going to put us out of a job. And this is what Top Cancer Center, basically, that was because IBM Watson is on the forefront with decision support for oncology. And it was very interesting sort of being a fly on the wall, listening to that conversation. And I don't think that is the case. There will always be a role for physicians and other healthcare practitioners. I just think in the healthcare world, it is going to play an extremely important ancillary tool to allow physicians and nurse practitioners to maximize their effectiveness to the benefit of the physician. So I don't see it in any way replacing healthcare practitioners, at least in my lifetime, but I think it's going to make the accuracy of things like cancer diagnostics all the more improved.
Thank you very much, and good luck for your company.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.